Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby. Today I'm going to show you a series of balance exercises. I incorporate balance throughout most of my videos, or we create an unstable surface for many exercises, something to always incorporate a little bit of balance because it's so important to work on. Even if you don't feel like you have balance deficits, it's important to maintain good balance for fall prevention. It's really important to prevent those falls. So today I'm just going to take you through some, just a series of balance exercises you can do either all on their own, or you can do them at the end of some videos if you feel like you need a little bit more. My dogs are here helping me today. And we're going to start with just a plain, simple tandem stance. Now, I talk about this in a lot of my videos, but I want to stress the importance of it and show you ways you can make it easier or harder to challenge yourself. So we're going to start. Notice that I have a chair here. I always want you to have something stable nearby. A kitchen countertop right at your sink is a really great place to hang on. But we're going to start in a tandem stance. So putting one foot heel toe right in front of the other, and then standing nice and tall. So this can be either really challenging or quite simple depending on your levels here. So if this is really challenging and standing in a tandem stance is just too much, whether you have toe pain or ankle pain or something going on, and tandem stance just isn't happening, stagger your feet out to the side a little bit. So that's a way you can take that narrowed stance and challenge yourself a little bit. Now, if you want to add a little challenge to the tandem stance, you can stand and then even just turn your head side to side. So you can put your hands out to the side. You can hold them right over the, your chair or the counter or whatever you're hanging onto. Just turning your head side to side and changing your gaze where you're hanging onto changes your proprioception. So it makes it more difficult. So that's a good thing to do, because generally when you're having to challenge your balance, if you're tripping or if you're walking over an uneven surface or something, it's generally you're not standing and gazing at one thing. So challenging yourself by turning your head nice and slowly. You can look all around the room, or you can start by just doing it just a little bit, or even looking up and down just a little. Not changing a lot, but looking up and down. If you need a little more challenge than that, and this is really only if you are feeling very strong and very stable in these, make sure you're standing right next to that kitchen countertop. Your hands are right over it. Stand in your tandem stance if you need more challenge than that, and try closing your eyes. But only if you've got that thing wherever you're hanging on to right beneath your hands, so that you can reach if you do start to lose your balance. So those are ways to level up and level down that tandem stance. Okay, next we're going to do a cone tap. So I've got some sliders. These are just furniture sliders. You can use anything for this. You can use little bean bags. You can use little cups. We're going to do a single leg stance cone tap. So I'm going to stand on one foot. I'm going to tap forward. Again, I'm doing this next to my sturdy surface. Tap out and then tap back. Now you can change the number of cones. You can change the, even if you're just doing one forward, one back, kind of out to the side is a good way to do it. And I've got 4 here, so I'm kind of going forward, diagonal, side, and back. Now, try to stay on one foot for this whole thing. Stay forward. Of course, you're going to want to look down, but it doesn't really matter if you touch it or not. You want to go in that direction. I'd rather have you looking forward, keeping that posture really tall, than bent over and looking like this. This is a really common thing to do when we start doing balance exercises, is looking down and kind of curling into ourselves. We want to stand up nice and tall, which also will keep our balance over our the center of gravity versus forward here. So pulling that chin back, reaching out for those targets. Even if you don't hit them, it's okay. You're getting close to them and you're going through that range of motion. We'll go through one more time. And I recommend that you keep your hands right over whatever surface you're using, right? So instead of going here and doing the exercise and then needing to reach out and then maybe banging your hands, I always think it's better to keep your hands right over your source of sturdy or balance. Try to touch and then come back to center. Really challenge yourself to reach out for those objects. Even if you don't hit them, it's okay. We're gonna do these each through like 5 times, but challenge yourself within your own limits. So if you need to do them 2 times and that is enough, that's okay. Work up to 3 and then work up to 4. If you need more than that, you can stand on a balance pad, you can stand on a balance disc or a pillow, anything like that to give yourself a little bit more challenge. Wherever you are in your balance deficits or if you have really great balance, it's still good to challenge it. So find a way to challenge it. If these are very pretty, simple, find something more challenging to do. So stand on a balance disc, stand on a pillow, things like that. Conversely, if this is really challenging for you, make sure you're next to something sturdy and maybe just do 2 objects. And then you could even step back down, forward. So you're starting to stand on a single leg for a short amount of times. Because when you walk, you are spending time on one foot. That's what the challenge of standing on one foot is. Because when you walk, you are spending a little bit of time on one foot as you swing through. Okay, next we're going to do a slow heel-toe raise. Now, I would recommend, if you're kind of beginner at this, starting in a chair. So this isn't going to be very difficult for your balance, obviously, but getting some good range of motion in your feet and ankles. This is especially if you have any lower extremity swelling. This is a really good thing to do, even on an airplane. I recommend that people do this on an airplane. But regardless, you want to keep that ankle and toe range of motion. So we're pulling up as high as you can and then pushing up as high as you can. So if you're going to do this standing, this is what this looks like. I would use my chair. I'm going to use this so that you can see really well. Up and down, up on your toes, and then rock back on your heels. So we did calf raises the other day, but now we're rocking back on your heels. So toe, heel raises. So we're really shifting your balance forward and back, which can be challenging in and of itself. So that's why, like I said, stand next to something sturdy, a bar, a kitchen counter, a sturdy kitchen chair. This is really sturdy. Nice and slow, really getting that range of motion through that ankle. And just shifting your weight forward and back like this can be challenging in and of itself, but really getting that ankle dorsiflexion. So when you take a step, it's really important to lift your knee and pull back that ankle. If you've ever seen anybody, maybe shuffle a little, that it's a big indication that there's some balance deficits going on, and this is a really good one to do. So lifting up and hitting that heel first, but being able to pull your toe back. That's called dorsiflexion. Pull your toe back towards your shin. Let's do a couple more. And also your toe off. So when you press off, you're toeing off, and then you're pulling back to take a step. Again, you can do any of these at any time. Waiting for your tea to warm up, brushing your teeth, waiting for water to boil for noodles or something. Okay, now we're going to do another single leg stance and up the challenge a little bit. So I've got a ball here. Refresh my screen. So this one you can do either in a narrowed stance, a staggered stance, a tandem stance, or a single leg stance. Wherever you are feeling challenged, we're going to play catch with a ball. So the bigger the ball, the easier this is. So this is, just a little playground ball that I have for different stuff around here. You could use a tennis ball or a racket ball or a lacrosse ball, anything. Nothing that weighs very much because we're just kind of playing catch with it. Now here, when you keep it close, is easier. So if you're in a tandem stance and you're playing catch with the ball, and you want to, you know, this is where you would start, and then make it a little bit further as you want to add more challenge. Again, if you need even more challenge than standing on one foot, you could stand on a balance pad or a balance disc. That's going to be really, really challenging, especially depending on the inflation of your balance disc. But you could stand on a pillow, just playing catch. I wanted to put together this comprehensive balance video, just so you can, you know, if you don't want to do maybe a full challenge resistance workout, but you want to do a little bit, and you want to do some balance. This is a good one to do, just so you're doing something, challenging that balance. And I want to give levels for each one. So then you can make, you know, you can make this even more challenging. And then if you want to use even a smaller ball, that's even more challenging. A golf ball, a super ball, a grape, you know, anything like that. The smaller you go, the more challenging it's going to be. Okay, now we're going to do, I'm going to use that same ball. Actually, I threw it away, but I'm not going to use any weights today. But we're going to do a little bit of a squat. Being able to perform a squat properly is actually really important as far as your balance is considered. So you don't have to do a full squat, but being able to pick things up, get in and out of a chair, and have that knee and hip range of motion is really important in your gait, in your movement throughout your day. So being able to take a step, I always say when I'm helping someone with their walking, lift your knee, hit your heel first. Lift your knee, hit your heel first. So all of those things that we've just been doing, now we're going to do a squat into a single leg stance and then a shoulder press. So we're just going to hold the ball in one hand. This doesn't weigh anything. It's not a medicine ball. You can use weights here if you want to, but like I said, this is just a balance video. So we are going to sit back. Even if you're just a small squat, that's okay. Small squat, sit back, stand up, stand on one leg. Okay, so we're going to small squat, stand on one leg, press your arm up. So we're adding a little bit of extra challenge here. So a little bit of a squat, come to center, press up. Now I don't want this to be all one range of one thing. This is easier. I want you to slow it down. So a little squat, balance, press up. Little squat. So we're getting hip motion here, we're getting knee motion, we're getting ankle motion. So when you sit back into that squat, your hips go back like you're going to sit down into a chair. Your knees bend, your ankles bend. You're going forward a little bit of that dorsiflexion. Stand up and press up. Okay, let's switch sides. So even if you're doing a small range of motion, you squat down, stand up, find that balance, press up. If this is way too much to stand on one foot and do this, you can just bring it down, bring it into center, narrow that base of support. Little squat. Also, if you're needing a little bit more assistance with this, stand next to something sturdy, right? So squat, you know, just use it for a little bit of balance if you need to. That's okay. Really getting that hip, knee, ankle range of motion here. Stand all the way up, balance, press up. Let's do one more. Down, all the way up, and press. Okay, good. Those are really challenging. You can do that with more weight if you would like, but I really just want to focus on the balance in this video. All right, next we are going to finish with a starfish. So we're going to go back into one leg stance, but we're going to take your body off center this way. So again, doing this in front of like your kitchen counter is a great way to do this. Standing nice and tall here, move over, make sure I'm in the video. Take your body, as you go to the side, you're taking your body off center to the side. This leg is going to stay in line with your body. So I don't want this way out here, and I don't want way over here, and then you take your leg here. So just staying in line. You're bending at the hips here. You're just gently tilting at the hips And as you go further, look at this is still just in one straight line. Now take your arms out to the side, and you're making yourself into a big old starfish. Again, you can make this more challenging by standing on a balance pad or a pillow or a balance disc, something like that, a Bosu ball. Less challenging would be smaller range of motions. Put your hands out to your side, that helps with your balance. Take your foot out to the side and just tip over just a little. And then I tell people too, you can kind of kickstand it, right? You can kind of put your foot down if you need to, but you're also doing it in front of a counter. Standing, bring yourself over to the side and see if you can hold it. Wherever you are along those lines, challenge yourself. Now, also, notice that I am in a straight line here. I'm not bending forward like this. My head isn't looking down at my feet, and I'm not rolled over in my back. I want to be nice and tall and powerful and strong, shoulders back, chin tucked. Let's switch sides. So, arms out to the side, hands out nice and strong. Start nice and slow. So if you're here and you're just standing on one side, you're just taking your body off center just a little. The further you go, also the more challenging this is in your hips. So your hips are working here and here. This is another good hip stabilizer, but balancing does require strong hips. So that's an important thing to remember. You can kind of come in and out of it. The other thing is if you need more challenge with this, I'm going to get this out of the way for the shot, you can go back and forth. So start here, go out into a big starfish, and then come back up slowly. Don't put your foot down and go. So you're just kind of going back and forth, tilting. So that's another way to challenge it just a little bit more. And then if you need even more challenge, you can come out here and you can move your arms forward and back. There's a lot of ways to up this challenge. If you need more ways to make some of these a little less challenging or a little more challenging, please reach out. But do these. You can do these anytime. You can do one or you can do all of them. You know, just do a couple of them if you can remember while you're standing in line waiting somewhere or while you're, you know, waiting for your water to warm up or something like that. So let me know if you have any questions, and we will see you next time. Thank you, everybody.